Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be going through a Pilates Mat class where we'll focus on pelvic stability and spinal alignment. So this will be a great class if you're just coming off a back injury and you're looking to get back into mat Pilates, or your back is just tight. Okay, so listen to your body. I'll take you through the movements and let's begin. So we'll start on our back, with our knees bent and our heels about 8 inches from our sit bones. Okay, our hands are down by our sides. Our shoulder blades are back and into the mat. Feet hip width distance apart. Let's focus on our breath for a few moments here. Let's take an inhale in through the nose and exhale that air out through the mouth. Again, we inhale that air in through the nose and exhaling that air out through the mouth. Okay, so let's start to focus our breath more down into our belly. Okay, so we create that expansion in through the nose, exhaling out through that mouth. Okay, we create that expansion. Our navel elevates, it lifts forward as we breathe. We want to breathe deep below down into our abdominal region. And on our exhale, try to start to engage those abdominals a bit, just a bit, with each inhale and exhale. We're starting to create some contraction in our core, integrating it with the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Getting those abdominals to work just a bit here. Now, let's start to breathe more into the sides of the abdomen and the sides of the rib cage. We inhale. Thinking of that lateral expansion, that more Pilates style breath, exhaling. We draw the abs in, the ribs pull inwards. Again, inhale. Exhaling that air out, drawing the abdominals in, getting those obliques to work a little bit, the ribs draw in. Let's just take one more breath in, and exhaling the air out. Okay, so focusing on our alignment. Ideally, we want our neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Let's do our best to keep that position. I'm going to bring my hands to my hip bones here. We want our hip bones to stay as square to the ceiling as possible as we inhale to take the right knee out to the side, and then we exhale to bring the right knee back. Inhale, let's take the left knee out to the side, keeping that pelvis as still as possible, exhaling that knee back to center in these knee dropouts. Again, inhaling the right knee out, exhaling that right knee back, inhale the left knee out, exhaling it back, keeping our core active, our abdominals are working to keep our alignment consistent. Inhale and exhale, so no movement in the pelvis, no movement in the spine. Inhaling, exhaling, keeping our position, those abdominals, those obliques, they're working, and I'm using my hands just to feel that my hips don't rotate. Let's go one more with the left knee. Exhale it back, and we'll take our hands down by our sides. Take a breath in. Do your best to keep the pelvis still. Exhale, just lift your right leg up to a tabletop position. So that shin of that right leg is parallel to the floor. Okay, we're pointing through that foot. We breathe in, inhale. We plant the foot down, keep those abs in. Exhale the left leg up. Okay, so we alternate legs in this march. Okay, if this is feeling like it's putting some pressure in your low back, you can roll just your hips under a little bit. Exhale the right leg up. Rolling your hips under, okay? That's going to take some load off your low back. Inhale, plant that right foot to the floor. Exhale the left leg up, tabletop, okay? Inhale, plant that left foot to the floor, keeping those abs in, maintaining our alignment. We exhale the right leg up. Inhale the right foot down. Exhale the left leg up. One more each side, keeping our position, not letting your shoulders round forward. Exhale up, also keeping your rib cage down. You don't want the rib cage to flare. Lifting that left leg up. If that rib cage flares and we arch the mid back, we lose our alignment. Let's do one more each side. Keeping stable, that rib cage is soft. Inhale the foot down. Exhale that left leg up. Inhale the foot down, and let's crawl our feet together. Okay, and let's take our arms up over our shoulders and then reach them out to a T position here. Okay, so keeping the feet and knees together, let's take both knees to the right just a few inches. We get a little rotation, and then exhale, pull in with your obliques. Let's return back, okay? Inhale your knees over to the left, just a small rotation in the pelvis and spine, and we rotate back, okay? And if this is bothering your back, you can definitely skip this one, but we really want to focus on keeping our core engaged and protecting our back. Again, you can roll the hips under slightly if this is too much tension, but we're getting those obliques to work a bit with each movement here as we take the spine in a little bit of rotation, and we exhale back. Taking your knees over, the feet stay glued together, the knees stay glued together, okay? I go to the right, my left hip lifts up off the floor just a bit, and then I go to the left, my right hip lifts up off the floor just a bit, and then I exhale back to center. And I'm going to separate my feet back to that hip width distance position here, okay? So take a breath in. We're in neutral. Now exhale, can you use your abdominals, draw the navel inward, and start to round the low back just a little bit. And then inhale back to neutral. Exhale, pulling in with your abdominals. All right, we roll the hips under so we get a little bit of a low back stretch here. The glutes aren't working, my chest isn't rounding forward. I use my abs, I draw my navel inwards, and I just roll the hips under. Very subtle movement, maybe increasing the range of motion a little bit more each time. We get a stretch in the low back. Let's try it just one more. And then back to neutral. I'm just going to readjust my feet. All right, so that they're 8 inches or so from my sit bones. Now maintaining that neutral position in my pelvis and spine, let's take a breath in. Exhale, pull in with your abdominals. Now press your feet into the floor and keep the position, and you can just start to lift the hips up just a few inches up off the floor, and then inhale back down. So we're doing our best to keep our alignment, to keep our stability. We're not tucking the pelvis under, we're just hinging at the hip joint. And if you need to, you can tuck your pelvis under just a little bit if this is feeling like too much low back tension as you move. So I'm moving just a few inches up and down. I'm keeping my chest open, my ribs are down, they're soft. I hinge the hips up, and then I hinge the hips down. So I'm really bracing, I'm stabilizing through my trunk. The glutes, the hamstrings are working a bit. And it's an inhale down and exhale up. Take your time, move slowly, and listen to your body. Okay, now let's do 3 more here, but this time we'll hold at the top. Exhale to lift. Keep those knees in line with your hips. Hold for a breath in. And then exhale. Lower down, hinging at the hips. The sacrum anchors to the mat. Inhale. Exhale, draw the abs in. Elevate the hips just a few inches. Again, if you're feeling it in your low back, you can tuck the pelvis slightly. Inhale to hold. And exhale to lower down. Let's try it once more. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, abs draw in, shoulder blades back. We hinge up. Inhale to hold. And exhale to lower down. Okay? And then just take your knees side to side a bit. Okay? Just a little bit of traction in the low back. Keep your abs active, but just loosening up the hips for just a moment. Just taking your knees to the right, taking your knees to the left. Those abdominals are engaged. One more to your right, and last one to your left. Okay, let's flip on to our left side. So I'm going to lie down with my left arm outstretched here. My head will rest on my left arm. And I'm going to bend my knees so that my heels are in line with my tailbone. Okay? So let's find our neutral position here in our pelvis and spine. So let's start by drawing the right side rib cage up, creating some space here. That means we have to engage our obliques. So we don't collapse the spine in, or the ribs to the mat, because you can see that the spine curves. So I elevate the ribs away from the mat, and you can see that my right hip drops down when I do that, okay? And then you can arch the back, tuck the pelvis a little bit, just to find that neutral, okay, in your pelvis, because we don't want to keep the low back arched or tucked. We keep our alignment consistent, my feet stay together, I take a breath in, on my exhale, we lift that right knee up. Nothing else moves. Inhale, that right knee down, okay, together, and then exhale, that right knee up. So that outer right glute works to lift the right knee up. Okay, so I'm focusing on my hip abductors, these hip muscles here, just warming those muscles up, and I keep my position. Nothing else moves. Also, I want to pretend like I'm doing those knee dropouts again. That's a good way to know that you're doing this exercise right, is pretending you're doing the knee dropouts, those first knee exercises we did. We want to keep our position just like that. All right, couple more. So you're feeling that outer right hip work a little bit. Last time, we lift, lift, lift. We'll bring the knees together. Now I'm going to take my right leg long, so the foot is in line with my pelvis. I'll relax my ankle down. Abs are in, and I'll just take the foot to the floor. I keep my feet, hips still square forward, and I'll lift that right leg up. So the knee is in line with my hip. I'm keeping my trunk stable, not letting this exercise take my body out of alignment. The leg lowers down and the leg lifts up. It's an inhale down. Maybe I touch the foot to the floor. Exhale the leg up, keeping my abs active. My trunk is engaged. Getting that right leg to work. Okay? No movement in the spine. Just keeping my core active. One more. Lift, 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 lift. Bring the leg back in line with your body. Let's bend your knees so we're back in that glute clam position. And let's come on up to our left elbow here. Okay, so we're kind of in a side plank position. All right, we need to lift this left underside up so that our obliques are active, spine is stable, and I'm collapsing in my shoulder. I keep that left shoulder blade back and down. So you can just hold here. If this feels enough of a challenge for you, you can hold here, all right? To progress, okay, press your knees into the floor, use your obliques, and lift your hips up. Okay, so holding in this modified side plank, I'm really focusing on work here. I'm focusing on the stability of my shoulder. That shoulder blade is active. I'm not rotating forward or back. I am perpendicular to the mat, to the floor. I'll take one more inhale here, keeping my abs in. Exhale, I'll lower the hips down. Now, coming on up for a stretch here, I'll find my mermaid position. Left shin in front of my body here, right shin to my side. And a side stretch here, I'll take my left hand behind my head and I'll bend to the right to stretch out my low back and my obliques on my left side. I'll take one more inhale and I'll exhale to come on up and I'll switch sides. So lying now on our right side, take my right arm overhead, resting my head on that right arm. My knees are bent, my heels are in line with my tailbone again. So remember to connect to your underside, obliques, your trunk is active, the pelvis is stable and still. We're in neutral. I can hike, tilt, just to find that neutral, that in-between position. Okay, I'll take my left hand on my hip just to feel that the hip's not moving, and I'll lift that left knee up, getting that rotation in the hip joint. I exhale to lift, inhale down, knees together, exhale to lift. Keeping my alignment, nothing else moves, just like my knee dropouts that I did in the very beginning. Inhale down, exhale up. Okay, still focusing on my obliques, my core, my trunk is active, keeping my alignment. Inhale, the knees down, I exhale, that left knee up. Let's try a couple more. Down and up. Once more, down and up. I'll bring my knees together. Let's take that left leg long so it's in line with my body. I relax the ankle. I take the foot to the floor and lift. Inhale down, exhale up. Keeping my position, abs are in, obliques are working. Still, I've just taken that previous exercise and made it more challenging. Trying to relax my quads, also focusing on that outer hip work. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. And I'll bend the knees back to that clam position. Let's come on up to our right elbow now. Still in my clam position, heels in line with my tailbone. Let's keep that shoulder down. We don't want to slouch here. We draw that shoulder down. We pull our right underside up. Okay, we're in our neutral. And we're not hiking the hip up. I'm going to sink that hip down just to keep the pelvis level. So I can just hold here if this is enough of a challenge. Okay, challenging the shoulder blades, challenging my obliques. If I want some more resistance, I can press my knees into the floor and elevate the hips. Okay, breathing here, still focusing on that lift for my underside, keeping my trunk aligned, also keeping my head, my neck in line. We don't want to drop our head to the floor. Neck is in line with that spine. Abs are in. Take another inhale. Exhale, we bump the hips back down. Let's find our mermaid position again. Left knee bent to my side, right shin in front, and we'll tilt the body to the left. Stretching that right side oblique, that right side low back a bit. Stretching here. Again, listen to your body. If this is too much, don't stretch as far. Okay? And let's come come on up and we'll practice some work on our hands and knees here. So, coming up onto my knees in this quadruped position. My feet are flat on the floor. Alright. Knees are directly below my hips. My hands are directly below my shoulders. So I want to find a neutral alignment here. Okay, so I arch the upper back a little bit, and then I can pull in with my abs. I want to round the low back, getting a stretch, just a little stretch here, this cat stretch position. Stretching the low back, go to where you feel comfortable. All right? And then you can get maybe a little bit of activity in your upper back, but keep your abdominals in so that you don't arch the low back. So I'm lengthening through my upper back a little bit. And then let's round the low spine a little bit, okay? For a stretch there. And then when I round, I'm working for my abdominals, rounding the low back to get that stretch, okay? And then just one more here. I'll lift my chest up a little bit. If this is too hard on your wrists, you can come on down to your elbows as well. That's an option if your wrists are feeling it today. All right, let's do one more of each. I use my abs. I round my hips under. I get that stretch. And then I'll stabilize my hips. And I'll lift my chest up a bit, okay? Now holding in neutral. All right, so we found our neutral. Let's let the shoulder blades collapse. Okay, so, or rather the spine collapses, the shoulder blades pinch together. This is a poor position for our shoulder blades. So let's activate some deep shoulder blade stabilizers and press the shoulder blades wide while I maintain my neutral. I inhale down, okay? Don't let the shoulders elevate, keep them down, and then exhale to press them wide, okay? Couple more there, just getting a little bit of upper body work, keep the abs in, and then press wide. Now, let's all come down to our elbows here. I'm going to take my elbows that are forward of my shoulders, and I'll challenge my abs a bit in my alignment, keeping neutral by taking my body forward so that my shoulders stack above my elbows, and I keep neutral in the pelvis. So this is a modified elbow plank, okay? I can keep my abs in, all right? That's very important. My shoulder blades are pressing wide. I can even crawl my knees back a little bit, lowering my hips to the floor, just a touch, so that increases the load, the work in my core. So shoulder blades are wide, elbows are in line with my shoulders, abs are in. So I'm working pretty hard here. I'll take one more breath in, and on my exhale, let's slowly lower all the way down onto our stomach for some prone work here. So let's interlace the fingers below our forehead. Head can rest here, shoulder blades down. Now, same thing that we did on our back, okay, the pelvic tuck. Let's do that here with our prone position. So let's pull in with our abs. We draw the navel inward, and that tucks the hips under, but don't use your glutes. And then relax. And then again, pull your abs in. You'll feel that you create some length in your low back here. All right, keeping my chest anchored to the mat. Exhale, using my abs to tuck the hips under and stretching the low back in this prone position. Now find kind of a neutral position, that in between. Abs are in. I'm going to take my hands directly below my shoulders here. My face is going to hover up off the mat. So my abdominals are active. Inhale, I keep my rib cage anchored to the mat, and I'll just lift my chest up just a few inches so I get some upper back work here. And then I'll exhale down. Inhale, now, keeping my abs in. I'm not hyperextending my low back. I'm keeping a neutral pelvis as I lift my chest up an inch or two, and then I lower back down. A couple more here. Abs are in, glutes relaxed. Inhale, I get some extension. Exhale down. One more time, inhale. And exhale down. Now I'm just gonna hold here. Abs are in, my upper back is active, shoulder blades back. I'll float my hands up just above my shoulders, or just still below my shoulders, but just above the mat here. So I'm getting some work in my upper back and shoulder blades. No work should be in our low back whatsoever. Keeping my shoulder blades down as an option. You can hold that position, or you can take your arms out to a T to get some extra work in your shoulder blades. Okay, or just keep them bent. My abs are in, upper back is active and strong. I'll bend my elbows, bringing my hands back below my shoulders, and I'll use my arms to press my body back into a rest position here, or a child's pose. Okay, heels just below our hips, relaxing our low back over our thighs, arms overhead for a nice stretch here. And I'll just hold here for a few breaths, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth, stretching through my lats as well, those muscles underneath my arms. I can feel them getting a stretch. My low back is getting a stretch. Again, I inhale. And I exhale. I'll take one more big inhale here. And exhaling. Come on up to seated here. And we'll finish there for the class, everybody. Thank you for joining. I hope your back feels better and more stable for the rest of the day. Thanks for coming to class, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you again soon.